Sure, we had our meeting this past week for our fiscal year 20 budget, and one of the items that we did at the beginning of the meeting was get council to adopt our new strategic plan. We had spent the last 4 to 5 months working with the Studer Community Institute to develop a brand new strategic plan for the city, and we held 4 sessions starting in March so we could determine what strategies we wanted to focus on to determine the direction that the city wants to move. We determined that core services is a key feature for the city, mainly public safety, which includes fire and police, and also investing in our employees because they're the reason that the city is such a great place to be. And so we adopted that plan at our budget policy meeting, and then that led into 4 or 5 different budget policy items, with the main one being a fire assessment fee. And that fire assessment fee really sets the stage to allow us to do everything that we need to do, make our services better, invest in our employees, and really bring the city to the next level.
Well, a fire assessment fee is nothing new in Florida government. There are many cities, many counties across Florida that use a fire assessment fee to fund their fire protection efforts. A fire assessment fee cannot be used for anything else except fire protection. The money that's collected must go for the protection of buildings. It can't be used for our ALS services, our advanced life support services, our medical stuff, because that benefits people. It doesn't benefit property. So the assessment must benefit your property. The assessment will allow the fire department to do 2 things. One, it will allow us to do some much needed enhancements that we have been discussing with council for the last several years. Primarily, it will allow us to upgrade our current rescue vehicle to a regular engine company. And what that means basically is the truck that they use now is, number one, it's outdated and it's down for repairs and it's not coming back. But it's not a fire truck. It doesn't carry hose, it can't pump water, it doesn't have lines and ground ladders. So it strictly takes our paramedics and EMTs to medical calls. We have to have 12 personnel to staff a fire engine for all 3 shifts. There are 4 personnel that staff it on 4 on each shift. And so basically we're providing half that staffing already, but we're providing them a vehicle that's very limited in its capabilities. So this assessment will add us to add the other 6 persons that we need to round that out, and we'll get 10 times the service out of this new vehicle. It will be able to respond into the north end, backing up our north end firefighters in the Kenwood area. When our ladder truck is out providing mutual aid to some of our other surrounding fire service partners, that engine company now will be able to remain in the station and to continue to provide coverage within the city, which is something we didn't have before. You can't do that with a rescue. So it's a big improvement. It adds additional personnel on the scenes of fireground, which we struggle with sometimes getting adequate personnel. The other thing is that, and this is huge for us, is that it will restore the deputy fire chief position in the fire department. And that is huge for us. We lost that position and an inspector position during the recession. Since this is a large military type town and area, the deputy fire chief is the executive officer, the XO of the fire department. It is the vital link between the fire chief's office and the line personnel. They deal heavily in the operations, training, logistics of the fire department. They deal heavily with the Firefighter Health and Safety Act that was put in place. And so it's so important to have that spot, and we haven't had it for some years now. Every year we do a employee survey, and every year it comes back that position is sorely missed. There's a lot of things that seem to fall through the cracks. So for the fire department, it's great. The assessment will provide some much needed funding to do some great improvements, also restore some positions that we didn't have before. And then because we're replacing some of our funding with this assessment, it will free up a lot of general fund dollars, which can be used in other places, such as the police department. I think the city manager talked about some increases in some benefits for the employees throughout the city. So it's a win-win. Nobody likes to ask for additional funding. The city, the elected officials, the fire chiefs, we don't like to do it. But we've identified that we've got some core services that need some improvements. We've fallen a little bit behind, and this is a way that we can fairly catch up. We definitely have to have 2 additional public hearings on the budget. I believe one of those will be in August and one will be in September. The public is obviously welcome, and they are encouraged to come out and listen to what the city needs are, different ways that we're approaching that through this fire service fee and some other things that we're talking about with the millage rate. And so we encourage the public to come out and be involved in their city government.